I had a question related to your experience in golf, and because I've heard you talk a lot about prescriptions being useful for mechanical things, but then you have with sports, there's a certain threshold. Like I've heard you say before, short game is 95% mental, which I totally agree with. At what point does mechanics separate from the art form?
Well, you can't really define that, right? I mean, I think you know that. I think you can't really say that you're at X point and now it's no longer mechanical. So what is your real question?
Well, I'm just trying to understand the dance. Is it a more or less?
So what's bugging you? What's bugging you?
What's bugging me is I just started getting into golf, like really getting into it, where there's like a real passion there, and there's obviously mechanical issues, and there's this dynamic between mentally thinking about the mechanics versus really focusing on the artistic expression.
Well, in order to not think about the mechanics, then if you're going to hammer a nail, you can hammer the nail once you know how to hold the hammer and move the hammer.
Right. So once you feel confident.
So if you don't know how to move the hammer and hold the hammer, then you can not think all you want. It's you don't know how to move the hammer, right? And so the biggest thing is always with regard to the coaching. That's where all the problems sort of happen. Is not that you should be coached or shouldn't be coached, or it isn't. That isn't the question. Really, it is that the lostness happens when, just like the lostness happens with life and mind and everything else. It's always in the accumulation of the jargon,
right?
And the more you accumulate the jargon, the closer, or the more you potentially become lost. So that's what I'll tell you, is that there's just a lot of jargon in everything, every culture, every subculture. What business are you in?
What business? Personal development and coaching.
Okay. So personal development is a total sham. Because it isn't, and I'm not trying to demean you or anything. It's just the entire premise. It's kind of like I'm in the trying to make muddy water clean business. Right. It isn't real. So it's full of just garbage, and business is full of garbage, and sports is full of garbage, and all domains. Investing is full of garbage, and finances, and everything is full of, it's all garbage. Garbage is the default. But then it doesn't mean that it can't be done well. Right. But the understanding is that no matter what domain or what field you're in, anywhere in the world, it's 0.000000000.01 of it is perhaps not garbage.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to find in everything. And golf is no different, and business is no different. Whatever you put in a search engine and get the 47 million results, it's all 47 million results of garbage. So the rate limiting step as to where you really go in anything is how effectively you can sift through the garbage, and if you have the DNA to actually recognize or to be able to accept, not that you should, that everything is garbage.
Right.